Hi, I'm Carl Miles. I farm in Dordrecht with my dad, Kevin Miles, and we run the Kevlynn Herefords stud. It's a stud that was started in 1960, making it one of the older Hereford studs in the country. We run a mixed farming operation consisting of a Dooney Merino sheep flock, the Kevlynn Hereford stud, and the Dunedin Angus stud. We run a commercial cattle herd as well, which is comprised of 50% Hereford and 50% Angus, and we run them in a crossbreeding program. Farming with Herefords was a decision that was made for me. My late grandfather, Casey Miles, started the stud in 1960, and he later on farmed in partnership with my dad. Kevin can be credited for the main expansion and driving of the stud, and he's taken it to the level of where we are at now. Dad and I started farming together in partnership in December 2012, and we've continued to farm together, growing the stud and growing our entire farming operation as a whole. I'm very fortunate to start on a very sound foundation laid by my forefathers. The positive breed characteristics of the Hereford breed, and part of the reason why they are so successful in our Dordrecht environment. So Dordrecht is a highland sourveld environment. We farm at 1700 to 2000 meters above sea level. It is no secret that Dordrecht is the coldest place in the country. With our harsh winters, we need highly adaptable cattle and functional cattle to live in this area. The number one attribute of a Hereford, above all things, is its fertility. Herefords have the shortest intercalving period of all breeds in the country, and calves on the ground make more money than any other attribute that can be scored from any other breed. Second reasons for Herefords, adaptability. They are highly adaptable. The British beef breed in this area functions better than the rest. A third positive attribute of the Hereford is the temperament. I mean, you can see these cattle here behind us, they haven't moved. They are an absolute pleasure to work with. There's no risk to staff. You can get by with limited staff to do the same tasks. The Hereford breed is the breed that made grass famous. So in our area where we are limited to the number of crops that we can grow, in fact, very few crops do grow in Dordrecht. We have an abundance of grass, as you can see in the background. The Hereford's ability to convert feed to meat at a very low ratio is a key point in their success in this cold environment. The ability of a Hereford to grow hair in winter is also a plus point in our cold environment. I think the secret with woolly coats is to grow the hair in winter and be able to shed in summer. Any animals that cannot shed hair are culled, so we cannot keep them. We strive to breed a moderate framed animal that's easy fleshing and is functionally correct. We find that this type of animal thrives on our sourveld. Ultimately, our goal as seed stock producers is to supply good quality bulls to the commercial market. We have never ever focused on selling high-end genetics to the top-end stud markets. If we have bulls that are good enough to fill that gap, they will comfortably slot into those positions. However, our focus is on supplying good genetics just to the average commercial farmer. And for that, we need hardy cattle, unpampered, and cattle that will thrive in any environment that they take into. By doing this, if you can farm with an animal that requires minimum inputs, you can ultimately maximize profits through optimal production. So we employ basic rotational grazing plan for our cattle through the summer months while they are being mated. In the winter months, we bunch up our herds of cows into groups of 100 to 150, and thereby we can graze the grass more intensely and get a better hoof and mouth impact through the various camps, thereby eating all Murraybun grass before the following spring. Our cows in the winter run with a 46% protein lick that we feed them. Once they've calved, we put them on a production lick for a month post-calving. Thereafter, they get a phosphate and salt lick for the remainder of the summer. Ultimately, we are running and managing our stud as any commercial herd would be in our area. There are no artificial inputs such as maize and bales and mealie stronka and green feeding. Our cheapest food source is ultimately our grass. Although it is not the best grass nutritional wise, It is what we have, and it is what we must use. We hold an annual bull sale on the third Tuesday of September every year. We typically offer in the region of 50 bulls for sale and some commercial females if they are available. The offering of 50 bulls comprises Hereford and Angus bulls, the majority of which are Angus bulls. We put a lot of emphasis on the cow lines in our selection, and we strive to maximize the cow-calf weaning ratio. And for us, this has meant keeping the mature cow size in check and not letting it get too big, and maximizing the calf weight that a cow can wean. Cows that cannot wean 40% of their own mass are passengers in our herd and are culled, but we are striving to reach figures closer to 50%.